Are you kinda bored and have no idea what to play in the current WildRift meta? Then no problem, because we have everything you need just prepared for you. But before we hop into the video of the OP picks, let's talk about our question of the day. For how long have you been playing WildRift? For me, I've started in like Season 2, got the Challenger, and basically that's all I do. I play the game, get the Challenger, stop for a while, play again, and then see what changes. For the current elo or the current game, it's kinda hard to consistently play because it's very tilting to do so. The ranked system has been very much inflated, and a lot of players who have been previously way lower are now all in Grandmaster, which means you'll match with them whatever elo you are. This is very frustrating, and there's not much that can be done about it apart from hard resetting the ladder and then letting them climb again. But this time they are not getting anything for free when it comes to winning games. No free marks, no loss bonus, no fortitude, nothing. Just a good old climbing system. For the first pick of this patch, we have an OP pick called Tristana. Tristana as a champion loves to be a Super Mario and just jump on enemies' heads. With this kind of style of playing, you'll get to notice that this champion kills enemies quite often, and here's why. Tristana as a champion loves to deal burst damage that is very heavily centered around her bomb combo. If this happens, people who are not paying attention to the HP bar or not running exhaust or have no idea how to use exhaust properly against the Tristana will be caught off guard and instantaneously die. Now, this is the difference between mages and AD carries. AD carries have an easier time punishing people that are out of position or generally in killing them, and once AD carries snowball when they have a reset feature, they take over the map relatively fast, and with Tristana you have one of those champions that can do all of the above. It can take over the game really fast, it can take towers down really fast, it has burst damage and the ability to go into Runan's Hurricane if truly needed for teamfight damage. One of the new things you have to try on Tristana is the Navori Quick Blades. With Navori Quick Blades you have an instantaneous, infinite, giga-broken, omega-hard, giga-hard scaling champion that will never have cooldowns on their attack speed steroid. I know those were a lot of fancy words, but what else am I supposed to say about this one? No, just jokes aside, but Navori Quick Blades is an interesting item for Tristana as it grants her infinite spells, which means she has no more downtime on her most important spells. Go give it a shot and let me know how it went. For our next champion we have Kassadin. Kassadin has been nerfed quite a few times, but it wasn't really what made him so broken. Kassadin as a champion is still fundamentally overpowered compared to all other champions. You see in those metrics or APIs that Kayle is broken and just gets to win games. This is due to the fact that people don't know how to play lane and Kayle gets to the super late stages of the game. The champion is severely understat during the laning phase and literally every champion in the game can beat her up. There's not much to be done about this, but this is a different story about Kassadin. Kassadin as a champion has virtually like no real terrible matchup that he's completely unable to play. Some will be very hard, given you're facing a Jayce and a Lucian and they know what they are doing, but since you're mid laning, it gets very hard to dive or punish you because it requires coordination of multiple people at once. And all you have to do is stay healthy enough and CS from range. Other tricks you can abuse are using your second ability to aggro minions to run at you and then drag them into the tower to get faster XP, or just secure some minions or break a freeze or whatever there is that's bothering you. But with Kassadin you have a champion similar to Kayle in its ability to carry later stages of the game. Once you hit level 9 and get like 2 items, maybe 2 gets 3 items, every AP champion turns into a monstrosity. With those items assembled, you'll start one-tapping people all around the map. Now, if you do the math and add super high mobility, super high AoE burst damage, infinite sustain with fleet footwork, and his second ability in terms of mana so you can spam his abilities, you get to know why this champion is such a problematic pick, and nerfing it requires some severe finesse. And if there's something I would change about this champion, it would most likely be his second ability's range, because this ability allows him to outtrade most of the melee champions in the game with quick trades and just piecing out after again. The next champion on the list is Jayce, and Jayce has always been one of the most crazy champions in this game. The only champion so far with so many abilities and so many little things you can take a look out for. It is crazy what this champion can do, but let's talk about the laning phase. Jayce is a champion that is melee and ranged at the same time, which grants him an insane advantage during the laning phase. He has the ability to poke out the enemy champion from range and then go in for the kill super early on. His biggest advantage over other champions is the fact that he starts with 2 abilities at level 1 which both deal damage. There are also little secrets about his abilities, when it comes to swapping forms. Don't forget, when he swaps forms, he either takes away enemy resistances or deals a lot of bonus damage on top. The other form just deals a little bit less bonus damage on top. But what you can do with this champion is, if you're aware of what you can do as a champion, is weaving your spells into each other. So for example, rather than using your third ability into your first ability, use your first ability into your third ability. As you transition with your second ability's attack speed steroid, you want to cast a normal auto attack first and then activate it. Another thing you have to take notice of is the fact that you can swap forms and maintain or retain the benefits of the second ability's range bonus. The bonus attack speed will then grant you more mana regen since you're attacking the enemy quite fast. Another thing you have to know about is the fact that you can hide an auto attack in your first ability's animation right after you swap forms into melee form. More things about Jayce are the following. When you swap into melee form, you do the best doing so when you take a lot of burst damage. When you know that there's a lot of burst damage incoming, swap into the melee form because you have increased defensive stats, armor and magic resist while being in that form. The next champion is Nautilus, and with this champion we have a problematic tank that just doesn't die and has so much versatility during the game. This champion goes around the map quite fast since he can spam his first ability onto the terrain, which then reduces its cooldown by quite a lot. The next thing about this champion that is quite disturbing to face is the fact that he can knock you up from super high range with his ultimate ability, which is almost always resulting in a kill. He can just press this ability on anyone, which then guarantees his first ability to hit into the combo of his auto attack route into the auto attack reset of his second ability. Now factor in that there are allies involved, you will pretty much guess what happens to you. You'll just die and the fight will be over in most instances. And with the support items in the game, there's not much room for punishment for melee supports anymore in lane, and he's too tanky anyway. He has the bonus HP from the relic shield, his second ability to start on level 1, and the ability to clear wave super fast. Don't forget, melee champions have AoE cleave, plus his second ability grants him even more AoE cleave damage. Funny, isn't it? And if that wasn't bad enough, the items he goes for are like Sea Jar and Warmox, and then he can itemize resistances, for example Zeke's Convergence, Protector's Vow, or anything he needs to make sure that he doesn't die and his allies get the most benefit from him. Oh yeah, there's another item called Gargoyle's Stoneplate, so if there's burst damage involved, you'll just press this button and he won't die. Since Serpent's Fang is a very niche item, you'll see it rarely used on many champions because they can't just utilize it, it's just not good enough. And even that point, it's not enough, and for our next champion, Serpent's Fang will also be not enough. Lux as a champion has risen in priority super high. This champion has the biggest issue of just giving you too many shields. Combining this with the Protect enchant, this shield grows so massive that it's impossible to be dealt with. As the game goes on, her cooldowns grow even lower, which means she has a shield every 4 to 5 seconds, or maybe even sometimes less. Taking that into consideration, how much damage this is able to absorb, plus the streaking nature of the support item which reduces the cooldown of it by 40% once you get an assist or a kill, you quickly realize that Lux is a very problematic champion in terms of value she provides. Even having the item Serpent's Fang is not gonna be enough because it's just too much damage. You pair her with a lot of bruiser champions that have a high HP pool, Gargoyle, and then that shield. How are you supposed to kill them if there's no way to have enough DPS to deal with them? It's not possible because there's no champion in the game as of right now that has enough damage to do so, outside of Varus maybe. Because AD carries in this game, so far, are just not it when it comes to competitive environments. In solo queue however, Lux is a little bit less valuable because you can't really guarantee all the spells to hit on your allies because your allies are running around like headless chicken. Still, Lux is a non-committal broken support with super high damage that provides value in any scenario. And that's it for today's video. Thank you all for watching, and if you want more, subscribe to the channel and come back.